People may ask why I have a stuffed caterpillar on my head. I don't know. What is up, guys? This is Mega Chief Fan here. Welcome back to another video, and the caterpillar is probably on the ground now. Yeah, it looks like it's dead, but anyway, we're doing another book rant video because legitimately, like, the last book rant video got 100 views, so I'm like, whoop whoop. So I'm doing another one because by popular demand, technically, but also I want to do another one because I like to do these every couple videos just because, like, they're fun to make. Trust me, they're loads of fun to make. So, what am I going to be talking about today? I have two mini reviews, mostly always. What I'm currently reading, what I plan to read, and a little book haul. So, pretty much all the things that fit a book rant. So, let's get into this. Alright, the first book I'm going to be reviewing, if I missed something, I deeply apologize because there's so much to this book. That is Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. Yes, I have an itch in my nose. It looks like I'm picking my nose. Atlas Shrugged is a beast of a book. It is massive. But, it's amazing. It's amazing, guys. I recently promoted The Fountainhead to a 5 out of 5 stars, and even though I gave this a 4.5 out of 5 stars, it definitely may end up getting a 5 out of 5 if it sticks with me very well. This was a masterpiece. The story was brilliant. Just the whole thing about the economy collapsing was absolutely well done. The characters were really memorable, but to avoid spoilers, I'm just gonna say my favorite character. I'm gonna not say my favorite character, but let's just say he's pretty cool. And then my favorite part in this book, if you saw my Goodreads review, you saw me completely gush over the writing of this book. Oh my god, this is one of the most beautifully written books I have ever read in my entire life. In fact, you know what? Forget it. 5 out of 5. I know I probably have a 4.5 out of 5 on as of me recording this, but once I get this uploaded on YouTube, I'm changing this to a 5 out of 5 stars. Atlas Shrugged was amazing. Just the whole layers to the story, the characters are absolutely fantastic, and the writing. Oh, the writing. That 100-page monologue, though. That 100-page monologue. Perfect. Just, even though Ayn Rand may not be my favorite philosopher, she is an amazing writer, and I cannot recommend this enough if you're up to the challenge, because it is a pretty dense book, and it's incredibly long. It's like over 1,000 pages, but it's so great, guys. It is so fantastic. Alright, the next book I'm going to be doing a little review for is Haruki Murakami's Norwegian Wood. I read this all this morning. I started it last night and finished it this morning. It was a pretty good book. I didn't love it like I did with Atlas Shrugged, but you know what? It's getting me back into Murakami, and I'm glad because Murakami is a good author. Let me just be honest, it is definitely nowhere near on the levels of even Kafka on the Shore, yet alone the Wind-Up Bird Chronicle, but it was a very good book. But something I realized with Murakami is that his main female characters are always really bland. Naoko, I think is how you pronounce it, she was not that good of a character. Like, her whole character, like, most of the time her character was told through letters that weren't even written by her, and it was just like, there was no chemistry between our main character Toru and Naoko, so I was not rooting for them to be a couple at all. I was more rooting for another female character named Midori to be a couple, but that then lead to spoiler territory. But this was good. I really liked the story until the ending. I thought the ending was a piece of crap, but I did like how. I liked what happened. It was just poorly executed, but the story, besides the ending, was really fantastic. I loved Midori. I thought she was a fantastic character, and I also thought Toru was really interesting as well. And the themes that Norwegian Wood tackles, like loneliness and love, it was really well done. It was really well done. It wasn't cheesy until that god-awful ending. But then, overall, I really like Norwegian Wood. Don't be warned, it has a crappy ending, but still, if you don't mind that, check it out. Alright, so what am I currently reading? Well, I'm currently reading Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. I actually haven't started this, but I'm going to be reading this after or during me reading this. Unbroken by Laura Hillenbrand, I think is how you pronounce it. But, yeah, I'm about 100 pages into this so far, and it's good. I'm liking it. It's not a masterpiece or anything, but it is a very well done book. I will have to say that right now. Like, on a critical standpoint, it is a 4 out of 5 stars, but personally, it just doesn't have, the pacing isn't all that great, so I gotta bump it down to 3.5 for my personal rating, but this is still a really great book. If you want to check it out, I'm really liking it so far. Alright, then we have 2 books that I probably showed off before. In fact, I know I showed these off before, but I'm going to be reading them after I finish those 2 books. One of them is The Dark Tower, the first Dark Tower book, The Gunslinger by Stephen King. This is the start of Stephen King's magnum opus, though I'm not sure because I've heard The Stand is even better than the Dark Tower series, but the Dark Tower series looks awesome. Can't wait to start that. And I'm also going to be starting The Art of Fielding by Chad Harbach. I know I've talked about this book. I've said I was going to read it many times, but I'm finally going to try it at least. I'm at least going to try it because when I read Memoirs of a Geisha, I didn't even like it, and I didn't even finish it because it wasn't my cup of tea, guys. Sorry. If you didn't see Memoirs of Geisha on my read list, that's because I didn't finish it. I got like halfway through it, I'm like, I'm done. But The Art of Fielding, this looks great. This looks like a combination between, this looks like the baseball version of The Secret History by Donna Tartt. And if you know me, I love The Secret History, despite me not liking her other 2 books. But yeah, The Art of Fielding, this looks really awesome. Alright, now we're getting on to the mini haul that I did, and that's the pile. And the first 2 books are Stephen King books. Like, seriously, I am addicted to this man. He is such a great writer in my eyes. He's just so fun and enjoyable, and I love his writing style. And the first one I have is something unusual for me, and that's The Eyes of the Dragon. If you know me, I don't really aim for fantasy. Like, I love Lord of the Rings, and I'm about to start the Game of Thrones series, or, I'm sorry, A Song of Ice and Fire. But, yeah, The Eyes of the Dragon, this looks decent, but don't be shocked if I don't absolutely love this. I got this for like $2 at a Savers, so, yeah, really pretty excited to get into that. And the other Stephen King book that I'm really excited to get into this, like, this is one I've been looking at for a while now, is Thinner by Stephen King, as him writing as Richard Bachman. This is about some, like, man who gets cursed by this gypsy, and he just keeps getting thinner and thinner and thinner. Just the title. And, what was that? It was like me, like, clawing at the book. But, yeah, Thinner it looks awesome. I love it. Some of my favorite Stephen King books comes from his pseudonym, Richard Bachman, i.e. The Long Walk, and Rage, which are 2 of my favorite Stephen King books of all time. But Thinner looks awesome. Thinner looks great. And if this is done well, I will be so happy that I read this and bought it, because it looks awesome. What else do I have to say? Alright, the next book is A House of Sand and Fog by Andre Dubois III. Dubois the third. I don't know how to pronounce that last name, but yeah, this is another family saga. It's really short. It's more, I'm gonna say this is kind of similar. Oh my goodness! Is that what I think it was? There's a paperclip in here. Who paperclips books? But House of Sand and Fog is another family saga. It's one of those, like, community books that, like, centers around a group of people. It reminds me of Eventide by, Kent Haruf, which was a really good book, but this one looks really good. It's really well known. Like, a lot of people know it, and I can't wait to get into this. So yeah, The House of Sand and Fog by Andre Dubois III looks pretty good. Alright, the next one, I know one of my booktube friends is gonna freak out about this, and that is I Am a Cat by Saseki Natsume, or Natsume Saseki. Like, I've seen it said 2 ways, and I'm just confused by it. Can somebody clarify that in the comments below? I have it under Saseki. Like, it says Saseki up here, like, you think it's his last name, but then over here it said it's his first name. Like, what is going on? I Am a Cat is, like, the book. Like, when I read the premise of this book, I'm like, I thought it was going to be like, I thought it was, like, published in the 1950s or 60s or even 70s. Nope, it was published in the 1900s. This book is so ahead of its time that I cannot even believe it. Like, This is said to be probably one of the great Japanese novels, and I can't wait to get into this, because this looks awesome. It's pretty much, if it's done right, it'd be pretty much the Holden Caulfield cat version. That will be awesome if they ask me. If this cat has, oh my goodness, that voice crack. If this cat has any like similarities to Holden Caulfield, I will be so happy. And the final book, I'm gonna go a little more in depth with this because this one I'm really excited to read. This is probably one of my next reads as well. That's Battle Royale by Koshun Takami. This is the original Hunger Games, guys. I know you could probably go back to, like, oh, the island survival thing can go all the way back to, like, Lord of the Flies or something. But this is what Hunger Games was. And it's actually a well-known fact that a lot of conspiracy theories came out that Suzanne Collins completely ripped this book off. And it's just, like, I don't know the whole details of it, but it does. But from the premise of it, she kinda did. This is so similar to Hunger Games that it's kinda scary, but instead I've heard this is even better than the Hunger Games. Way better than the Hunger Games. It's a lot more dark and just terrifying and just completely gritty and brutal. And it just sounds awesome. It really sounds awesome. And Battle Royale, I've been wanting to get more into Japanese literature, so that's why I picked up this and I Am a Cat. But yeah, and I'm also going to be reading more Murakami, so Battle Royale, can't wait to get into this. That sounds so great. So that was the video, guys. I don't know how long this video was. Let me check for a minute. Oh, it was a pretty decent, like, video. So, anyway, tell me what you guys thought of my video in the comments below, or tell me what you guys think of some of the books in below, especially these two. I want to know so much about these two. But anyway, I'm Mega Man Chief Fan, and I'll see you later, guys.